Please give a warm welcome to NAE Chair, Don Winter.
Good afternoon. Got that right, this is our third shot. It is my great honor and privilege as the NAE Chair to welcome all of you to the 2022 National Academy of Engineering Annual Meeting and the induction of the class of 2022. I am most pleased that we are finally able to have an in-person induction ceremony. I remember my own induction fondly, and I trust that you will find today's ceremony as meaningful as I did. For many of the new members, this is your first introduction to the Academy. Election to the NAE is a high honor, and I trust that you will take great satisfaction in being so recognized by your peers. I expect that your families also take great pride in this accomplishment. For while the NAE selects its new members based on an exhaustive search and evaluation process, it is much more than just an honorific society. The National Academy of Sciences was established in 1863 by Act of Congress. Its charter directs the Academy to, and I quote, "Whenever called upon by any department or agency of the government to investigate, examine, deliver his address." John?
Thank you, Don, and welcome everyone to the 2022 National Academy of Engineering Annual Meeting and Induction Ceremony. It is refreshing to see so many of you in person. I would like to also welcome family and friends joining us today. Before we start, I would like to express our sympathy and support for the residents who were in the path of Hurricane Ian, especially in Puerto Rico and Florida. The storm reminds us that there remain many challenges for engineering to secure the health and safety of our population. We will use our ingenuity to rebuild areas to be more robust and resilient, to secure the health and safety of our society. This is the moment we have been anticipating, your moment, to be formally inducted into the National Academy of Engineering. Inducting 3 classes in one day is a tall order. You are number 3. We have practiced on 2 other classes. So I think we're doing pretty well right now. Right? This is a first step in moving on from the pandemic, and it's exciting. The National Academies. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine serve the nation by providing independent, objective advice to inform policy, sparking progress and innovation to solve complex problems, and confronting challenging issues to benefit society. The academies encourage education and research, recognize outstanding contributions that benefit society, and increase public understanding of science, engineering, and medicine. Interestingly, the need to cultivate science and advanced technology was amplified in response to the wartime needs of our country. It is against the backdrop of the Civil War that the National Academy of Sciences was first chartered in 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln. You can see a portrait of this in the boardroom on the other side of the building. At its inception, these issues include clean energy, access to potable water, food security, and protecting health and well-being during times of national crises, such as pandemics and natural disasters, like the one we have just faced. The need for collaboration with members across the world is a new urgency. This year, we increased the number of members from underrepresented countries such as Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, and Turkey. Welcome to the 24 international members elected from 17 countries. And we look forward to working with you on global issues that impact all of us. Today, with 2,300 guests, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Al Romig, NAE Executive Director, and NAE member, and a proud member of Section 1 Aerospace. He's also known as the Chief Skunk because of his leading role with Lockheed Martin's advanced development programs at the Skunk Works in California. Al, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, John. And good afternoon. So all three of us have remembered that we know how to tell time. Start. As John said, my name is Al Roenick, and I am the current NAE Executive Officer. I began this role in 2015 after a career in aerospace, culminating at the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. We are extremely proud of our new members. We're also proud of our long-serving members. At the back of the induction book, you will find the names of individuals who are celebrating a significant membership anniversary. Allow me to present this list class by class. At the end, I will ask all members celebrating an anniversary to stand so that we can properly acknowledge you. If you're watching on a webinar, feel free to stand at home. I'd like to have the audience hold their applause until the members of all classes are standing, and then we congratulate them all at once. Feel free to applaud at home as well. The following individuals are celebrating a significant membership anniversary. The class of 1972, celebrating 50 years, Maury Tenenbaum. The class of 1977, celebrating 45 years. The class of 1982, celebrating 40 years. The class of 1987, celebrating 35 years. The class of 1992, celebrating 30 years. The class of 1997, celebrating 25 years. If all those individuals can stand, we'd like, John, I think we're on that list. John's one of the young ones. It was only 35 years. You also find that their names are available in the online directory. And as both Don and Don said, this is really a terrific occasion. After almost 3 years of not being together, we are finally together in this great auditorium in our nation's capital, and we are here in 3 dimensions. We are here to honor and acknowledge excellence in engineering as we celebrate the marvelous contributions that engineers in this year's class have made in research, innovation, manufacturing, education, the creation of novel technologies, and in designing solutions to real-world problems. I think you know how competitive this process really is. Several years ago, before both John and I were here, we had the pleasure of serving as the chairs of the Committee on Membership, 2014 and 16, if my memory is correct. And in those roles, we saw how talented classes are. In our present roles, we still have the opportunity to review this year's class, and I will tell you, you are all as distinguished as ever. Arthur C. Clarke, a former member of the NAE, now deceased, and author of 2001, A Space Odyssey, said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. We take this moment to acknowledge some of the magic of engineering. Engineering is a marvelously creative enterprise, and the citations reflect that creativity. Engineering improves the human condition, and that is a message we are constantly trying to convey to the public, young and old. Engineering solves problems for people in society. John cited our history going back to the National Academy of Sciences in 1863 as an organization that is meant to use the talents of the nation's preeminent scientists, engineers, and physicians. And in light of the global challenges we face today, from pandemics to energy transition to climate change, now more than ever, it is important that the National Academy of Engineering continues to engage in this behavior. It may be an honor to be elected to the Academy, but you are here to serve the nation. Now it's time for the induction of our new members and international members. For all of those of you who are joining today, we make great efforts to introduce people properly by pronouncing their names correctly. I will tell you that with the help of my assistant, she did all the work. Between listening to voicemails, talking to your assistants or your colleagues, and on occasion consulting Mr. Google, I will try my very best. Despite my American accent, do not hold that against me. Only one of you was at high risk of being introduced by your telephone number. Your titles and affiliations will appear on the screen, and I will read your name in the citation. And when I do that, that's when it's time for you to move up onto the screen, onto the stage rather. Wait. It's the third time I'm doing this, so. Okay, so if we have John and Don take their positions and have Carol and Cameron come up on the stage and assume their positions. $200 down and $100 to go. One thing I will say is on occasion, because of weather and COVID, there will be people who won't be here that we were unaware that they would not be able to be here. And so we may, in a couple of cases, have instances of trying to introduce somebody who's here virtually. So we'll try to correct that. All right, here we go. Stage, and allow Carol Hall time to return to her seat. Predictive and robust controls and their commercialization. In lieu, for bringing organic electronic materials into aqueous media, opening new directions in biomedicine, environmental monitoring, sensors, and electronic devices. Heike Real, for global leadership and technical innovations in the semiconductor industry, covering OLED, fundamental device processes, materials, and nanowire devices. Chin Chai, for international leadership and contributions to earthquake engineering research and the design of steel structures. Tucker, for contributions to semiconductor lasers, high-speed optoelectronics, and energy-efficient optical networking. For research, innovation, and education in green chemistry, catalysis, nanotechnology, and chemical engineering leading to clean and green technologies. Yilmaz, for leadership in developing innovative methods for processing seismic reflection data and educating a generation of geophysicists. Hongjian Zhang, for technical contributions and leadership in the area of multimedia computing. Congratulations to the MAE class of 2022.